As a Southern California resident, the topic of discussion today has been on my radar for quite some time. Orange County, California has been trying to build a light rail system since the 1990s. Of course, the Pacific Electric Railway once extended all the way out to Orange County, but we'll touch on that in a second. Orange County's modern streetcar revival almost occurred in the early 2000s, when, in 1999, a project going by the name of Centerline was proposed. It was envisioned as a 9.3-mile light rail system that would have run from Fullerton to Irvine through Anaheim, Orange, Santa Ana, and Costa Mesa, making stops at 26 stations throughout. Originally planned to open in 2009 at a cost of around $1 billion, the route would have served many popular Orange County destinations, including John Wayne Airport, South Coast Metro, South Coast Plaza, Santa Ana College, and downtown Santa Ana. While the Orange County Transportation Authority secured funding through Measure M, lack of support from Orange County's congressional representatives resulted in no federal funds being obtained for the proposed transit line. In February 2005, the Centerline project was suspended indefinitely, and in May of that same year, the plan was officially scrapped in favor of expanding express bus service throughout Orange County and improving existing Metrolink commuter rail service. So it should go without saying that this project, Orange County's contemporary take on light rail, has been a long time coming. This is OC Streetcar, the strongest sign thus far that Orange County does in fact have an urbanist heart. OC Streetcar will consist of 8 Siemens S700 light rail vehicles running every 10 to 15 minutes, making 10 stops in each direction with a capacity for up to 180 passengers. This project, first proposed by Okta a year after Centerline failed, will operate a curbside, street-running system on its eastern half and on a dedicated former Pacific Electric right-of-way throughout its western segment. I am so excited for OC Streetcar's planned opening this coming summer, and I just can't wait to tell you all about it in this video, because yes, as of January 2025, all of the planned OC Streetcar stations have been built, and you can be damn sure I visited every last one of them. If you're new to the channel, this is Fourth Place, your place to learn about US geography, urbanism, transportation, and city planning. We'll start here, at the Santa Ana Regional Transportation Center, OC Streetcar's eastern terminus, where you'll be able to connect to a plethora of other modes of fixed-route transit, including Amtrak Pacific Surfliner, Metrolink Inland Empire Orange County and Orange County lines, Greyhound Bus, and OC Bus. Side note, I love the branding that Okta has chosen for their public transit systems. The light blue and orange on the OC Bus and OC Streetcar is stunning and very eye-catching. Same goes for the color palette on the stations too. They're sure to turn heads of any out-of-towners passing through. Awesome choices all throughout. Now, the Santa Ana station stop is a great terminus, not only for its connections elsewhere, but also because of its prime location. The eastern terminus is located just east of one of Orange County's most historic neighborhoods, French Park. The neighborhood is one of the oldest in Santa Ana, a city first founded all the way back in 1869, and has been seeing a lot of new development in the years since the OC Streetcar project began. As OC Streetcar departs westbound from Santa Ana Station, the route continues up Santiago Street and west down Santa Ana Street, running right through French Park's Victorian and Craftsman-era residential infrastructure, much of which is incredibly preserved and is still as colorful as ever. It's a compact, pre-auto, pedestrian and cycling-friendly slice of Orange County that will no doubt be experiencing some much-needed positive gentrification in the coming decades. It's no secret that Santa Ana is not exactly known as the safest city in Southern California, and I stand firm on my belief that gentrification, including incoming transit-oriented redevelopment, can be a useful tool in curbing high crime rates, bettering the community quality of life and safety, and helps to bring in new businesses and more investment, which, in my opinion, French Park could definitely benefit from. Hopefully, as the streetcar gets up and running, investment here will increase exponentially, and the area will start to feel more safe, especially at night. Now, French Park's traditional urban design and built environment is a near-perfect match for the OC streetcar. There are a lot of people living in French Park, thanks to its pre-existing and relatively new density, and the streetcar should bring even more people into the neighborhood as well, with the streetcar providing locals a new, valuable, and hopefully safe way to get around town. I'd like to see some new rezoning to allow more mixed-use residential development throughout French Park in the years to come, because, like I said, I think the neighborhood's compact character could be conducive to supporting some new 2 and 3 over 1s, especially along the streetcar line on Santa Ana Boulevard. As the OC streetcar moves west through French Park along Santa Ana Boulevard, it'll make 2 stops, one at Lacey Street and then at French Street, before continuing towards downtown Santa Ana, or as the city itself likes to call it, downtown Orange County. Never change, OC, never change. Through downtown Santa Ana, OC streetcars east and westbound tracks split along Santa Ana Boulevard and 4th Street, each making 2 stops. Westbound stops continue along Santa Ana Boulevard, stopping at Sycamore Street and Ross Street. Eastbound stops are made along 4th Street at Ross Street and Sycamore Street. This downtown loop was an interesting decision, to say the least. The westbound route runs through a mostly corporate commercial stretch of downtown, serving a handful of office buildings around the Sycamore Street stop, while the Ross Street stop serves Orange County's Civic Center complex. Santa Ana is, after all, the county seat of Orange County, so there will be a lot of government workers utilizing the Ross Street stop for their commute, which is great. Downtown Santa Ana itself is a fascinating case study on an ever-evolving and ultimately bygone historic American downtown that I hope to do an entire video on sometime in the future. Most of the buildings here are in pristine condition, expertly preserved. Mostly a mix of Victorian, Craftsman, and Art Deco, but the quality of the businesses here is sorely lacking in my opinion. I'm sure some of them serve the local community in some fashion, but this is not a prosperous downtown by any stretch of the imagination. With so many vacancies, perpetual going out of business signs, pawn shops, and unkempt storefronts, you're definitely not going to see rich, vibrant, diverse urban life here on any given day and time of the week. I swear, like half of the buildings here had for lease signs plastered on them, and it's a shame because they really are all so gorgeous, and now light rail adjacent. I'm getting a little off topic here, but I think downtown would definitely benefit from an influx in new, dense housing on and surrounding 4th Street. That is, if it wants to see any meaningful retail investment in the future. For the average Joe, though, 4th Street doesn't really present as a welcoming place for an influx of small businesses, hence the tremendous number of vacancies. The gated storefronts aren't a great sign either. Housing is getting built, though, in anticipation of the streetcar, and if I had to guess, in 20 years, downtown Santa Ana is probably going to be a lot safer, more livable, revitalized, and even more dense and urban. Hopefully, truly living up to its downtown Orange County moniker. There's a few hidden gems here and there, but for the most part, it's just not for me. I'll catch some hate for that take though. Anyway, 4th Street in downtown is full of light rail history, as it's where the West Santa Ana branch of the Pacific Electric Railway once ran through. That is, before being covered in asphalt, and then being uncovered and retracked over again. Continuing westbound on Santa Ana Boulevard, the OC streetcar will make one stop at Flower Street, at an intersection where 4 unique zones meet. There's the residential zone, the downtown edge, the Civic Center zone, and the county jail complex. The route then continues west down Santa Ana Boulevard, making a stop at Bristol Street, in an area that can be best described as suburban Santa Ana, a place largely built up during the auto boom, a fact that is very apparent in the present day. At the actual stop itself, well, there's not a ton going on. A lot of room for infill and redevelopment though. One can only hope that the OC streetcar will induce some kind of transit-oriented development in these would-be pedestrian pockets. But I'm just glad this stretch of road is returning to its roots, when the auto had to share the road with the red cars. After the Bristol Street stop, OC streetcar will continue into where Santa Ana Boulevard meets Rate Street, or Riot Street, I'm not too sure, where it reaches an abrupt break and where I could explore the line on foot and in my car. This stop is also where the new OC streetcar maintenance facility is located, just beyond the fencing there. I managed to creep around a back alley by a junkyard just to try and see if I could catch a glimpse of something resembling an OC streetcar inside, but no dice. Really nice looking facility though. The next part of the route was pretty challenging to cover, as this section of former Pacific Electric right-of-way turned OC streetcar right-of-way doesn't run along a roadway, greenway, or public space of any kind, meaning I eventually had to meet back up with the track where it crosses vehicular traffic at Fairview Street, a stop that's probably meant to service a collection of Santa Ana Unified School District offices, a pre-K through 8th grade private school, some industrial storage areas, and the collection of suburban homes that surround it. It appeared that I wouldn't have been able to follow the route on foot or in my car until the final stop at the western terminus, and that just wasn't sitting right with me. I really wanted to get closer to the rails, somehow. That's when I found out the route crosses over the Santa Ana River and its bike and pedestrian trail just once, and I thought that may be my way in. So I headed over to see just how close I would be able to get to the tracks, somewhere, anywhere in the middle of the old Pacific Electric right-of-way. To do this, I drove to a residential neighborhood near the river, walked to a nearby community park, and continued walking on the half-mile trek along the river trail to where the streetcar bridge would be. And what I found there was, in a word, historic. And in another word, awesome. What you're looking at now is the historic Pacific Electric Railway Bridge over the Santa Ana River. That's the one on the left. And situated right next to it, the brand new OC streetcar bridge. The former, built in the 1920s, and the latter, the 2020s. It's pretty amazing to see this kind of rail infrastructure juxtaposition in the modern day, and really quite rare, as these kinds of things are all but extinct today. I felt very lucky to be able to see something like this so close, despite its current, dormant, tagged-up condition. It's crazy to think that I'm standing near where a picture like this was once taken. A small yet vital part of the iconic Pacific Electric red car's history, next to another equally vital piece of modern light rail history. One that will hopefully be the start of the era of the blue cars. Can I trademark that? Anyway, after my 20-minute love session with the bridges, I got back on track, pun very much intended, and arrived at OC Streetcar's last stop, its western terminus, near where Harbor Boulevard and Westminster Ave meet, no longer in the city of Santa Ana, but now in the city of Garden Grove. And it's in a gas station. A win is a win, people, but I'll admit, it's really too bad the OC streetcar line had to end here, especially when you consider the rest of the Pacific Electric right-of-way that you can see on satellite view, extending up through Orange County and eventually into Los Angeles County, cutting across the Cardinal Street grid like a scar. Of course, much of that leftover land has been redeveloped into everything from parking lots to bike trails to the building of new homes and commercial development. A lot of it, though, is still abandoned, not being put to much of any use. Regardless, this stop, referred to in the literature as Harbor Transit Center, is, in fact, the western terminus of the OC streetcar. For now. It's a less than ideal terminus situated in the middle of an auto park off the intersection of two OC stroads with no density or mixed-use development in sight. But maybe there's hope for some of that in the future? Look, it's gonna take a while for the country, California, and more specifically Orange County, to heal and recover from its car-centric ways. In 2025, I believe we're in this awkward middle era of urban rail infrastructure, not quite in the middle of the streetcar craze of the late 18 and early 1900s, and probably also very far from a future where urban rail transit takes its rightful, plentiful place back onto our streets. American urban rail transit is, broadly, in a rebuilding phase, and it's going to take a while to undo all of this car-centric coding, zoning, planning, and infrastructure, but I do believe we'll get there eventually. OC Streetcar will be beneficial to Santa Ana and the surrounding area when it opens. Thankfully, most of the stations don't have any supplemental parking attached to them. Now, I said most, and not the route nor the system is perfect, but it's a start, and a good one at that. While this thing's grand opening was pushed back from 2021 to 2025 in 2023, with all the stages set, it's hard to believe that this thing isn't just around the corner for OC this summer. And if that August 2025 date keeps, you can bet your ass I'll be the first one to ride these bad boys, documenting the whole experience from start to finish for every last one of you. While it's a bit too early to start speculating on potential route expansion, I think a little healthy wishful thinking to finish this video out is in order. Personally and practically, I'd like to see an expansion south, partially following some more nondescript rail infrastructure, reaching into the city of Tustin, specifically one or more stops at Flight at Tustin Legacy, a massive former military compound that's been redeveloped in recent years into a high-tech office park, complete with a 12,000 square foot food hall, apartments, green space, and plans for further mixed-use development. The area has built one too many parking lots and structures, and I think OC streetcar/light rail would be just the right urbanist cure for that. Lines could then be further expanded south, with stops at John Wayne Airport, Costa Mesa, and more. Maybe even a loop through Irvine, too. Clearly, there's a lot more work to be done, and this is just the beginning. But there's no doubt that, recently, urbanism in Orange County has been taking a lot of dubs, and I hope that's a trend that continues for many years to come. So leave a like if you enjoyed the video, as it really helps out the channel. The end of 2024 marked the end of my first full year of weekly uploads covering a wide range of topics relating to US geography, urbanism, transportation, and city planning. This schedule is something I plan to continue for many years to come, so hit that subscribe button if you want to stay in the loop. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week from 4th Place.